Alright, looks like everything is good to go. I'm just here in Moho deciding to just sketch and goof off a little bit. Um, yeah, just that. Sorry about any noise that's going on. It's just daily life. Yeah, just coming up with, thoughts about what could I do next. I've got 400 projects in the works, of course, and still working on that first day of winter remake. All the character designs. I'm going to start, you're going to see me do a lot of character designs and not see what they're for, just because a lot of them I'm going to start putting up on Gumroad as, buyable characters. Things like that, figuring out exactly how other people sell them and what people expect when they buy them. Because, every character is kind of like for its own thing, so sometimes the generic characters don't play well in other people's stuff, but that's just a matter of, I think, your own personal preference kind of thing, whatever you need it for. Let me just check my freehand options here. I am needing to open up the brushes, I think, because I don't see yet again my pressure sensitivity, and I hope that that's not an issue. Doesn't seem to be. I don't think so anyway, but let me turn off my autofill for the moment, and I'm going to turn up the size of my stroke here real quick, just so I can test this. Yeah, looks right. I mean, I got the opacity where it looks right anyway. I'm going to try yet again here with my width just to see how much variation there. Yeah, that seems right. Looks like Japanese ink or something like that, doesn't it? Cool. That's probably what this brush is for, more than likely. It says nothing. Cool. Ink water stroke. Very cool. Yeah, so yeah, I just want to, I don't know, design a character. Just go with that. Just something, I'm just playing around. So join me, chat, whatever you want. Just pretty much goofing. I'm going to do this all on one one layer, I guess, right now. So I have a lot of friends. I used to do it too, but who belong to a medieval reenactment group, and so I'm exposed to it a lot. Medieval history and drama. I mean, and whatever else is going on in the group. And of course, sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's, what it is. I don't know what just happened here. Let me get this back on frame zero. I think my arm on my chair pushed the play button there. So anyway, yeah, it just really depends on what's going on. So glad that I got all this stuff worked out. I'm gonna go in my smoothing here and just turn it off for now, because sometimes that can be a little annoying as well. I think I got my stuff up a little high as well. It's gonna make kind of like a body here, give him some kind of, these are called pauldrons, the shoulder armor, if you didn't know. Just goofing off, trying to figure out what could be cool. All this will get redone, of course, but I'm just trying to sort that out. What's he missing, It's always the thing. So some kind of belt, obviously, right? with the nifty flip around business, however that works. Let's give him maybe some little, these are called tassets. This is just the sketch of it though, not the final version or anything. And I'm gonna grab his layer and just kind of squish him down. It always looks like crap before it looks good. That is my thoughts to everybody, no matter what you're doing. Typically, that's the case. No? I hope we are, in fact, streaming. If you guys see me streaming or whatever, just let me know. We actually have, well, the internet was really buggy last couple days, so yeah, it actually is working at the moment, which is never, ever a bad thing. I'm just going to figure out what goes where. Maybe give him some, I like the shorter legs sometimes, you know, the Hagar and Yosemite Sam, and that kind of vibe is kind of cool. Big arms. I think he should have some kind of big arms. I don't know why my pin seems to be coming in and out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and just draw some gauntlets here for starters. Something kind of like that. Big arms, like I said. My pen seems to be in and out. Maybe it's my, well, that opacity maybe is not set to its best place. Let me go back in here and find out what that is about. That's all fine. Maybe it's the point reduction. Nah, I don't think so. Let's just reset these to see if that helps. And it very well may be just this brush in general. Hang on. Let's go with that. And I'm going to pull that back down during the sketching. Let's take this guy and I don't like this up a lot, but this I think is the one I like. Hue, saturation, value is a biggie. And I don't know. We'll just see. So I need some knee armor here. It's almost like it fades in, you know what I mean? Like I'm going dun 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 dun, and then if I leave it on, that's when it comes in. So the fade in is super long on that apparently. So opacity, it's gonna have a 100. Let's try to put this down maybe to like 50 or something like that, to where we get, I don't know what's going on. That still seems like it's got a lag and a half, doesn't it? And that is not cool. We want no lag, and we've got more lag than I've ever had. Hang on. Let's go put some of this out of here. What now? Let's just pick a brush. Something that I typically use. See if this is going to work any better. See that lag? It's popping kind of, don't like that. I've always got this what now sort of attitude. Maybe it's just that the smoothing, you know, is at 0. So that could be it. Smoothing at 0 sucks, apparently. So yeah, we've got some of this going on. So that can be a standard kind of look. I'm almost wanting to make his head like huge. So if I can grab maybe just the strokes of the head, we'll see if it'll cooperate. And cut those. And then go back. Just going to create another layer for this real quick. And we'll stick him here. I don't know why it doesn't put him in the same place. It's rather annoying. But then I can make his head kind of huge, which I think is kind of funny. I like that. Let's take both these guys now, layers, and we can move those down. Like I said, it's just a sketch concept. Kind of funny looking, I think. Let's go ahead and I'm going to group those together real quick just so I can, affect them at the same time. We'll go with group. And this is going to be sketch. Not a great sketch, but And that way I can come in here and knock it down just a little bit. Right at about 20-ish, something like around there. So, how's it going? If you guys are watching, say hello. If you have anything to say it. All right, so I'm going to make another layer here. It's going to be what I consider more of the cleanup. So it's going to be a sketch as well, all on the same layer. Glazing up is not bad either. But if we just do this on one layer, I can get even more of a refined idea. Hopefully the pin and whatnot are going to completely cooperate. It's not that they're not cooperating, it's just that I think given brush settings and whatnot, I'm making it worse than it needs to be, affecting it somehow. So I'm just giving this a lot more kind of attention to the strokes, obviously. We'll do something a little more appropriate. And I don't know why, but it feels like my brush keeps changing size on its own. What is going on here? It's very random. I'm not caring for that. So a little bit more careful, not entirely, but This is way too thick now. Jeez, man. Can I get some help in here? That's fine. This is just a sketch again, just to further refine what I'm doing. And I guess I do want that sort of peek over like that. Might be kind of cool. This can be more like so. Those are off. You guys are watching, say hello. I am just goofing with kind of a, yet again, another little character concept. Trying to figure out what's his best look going to be. Yeah, a lot of this stuff's going to be made for stuff like Gumroad and so on. So this is why I have been making so many characters. I have some gauntlets like this in my room right now. You're like, why? Why would you have that, Sean? It's, like I said, medieval reenactment, SCA, kind of thing. So. But if you are on, say hello. Something on like that. Give him some pretty beefy arms, I think. And I mean, this being maybe a reenactment guy, maybe his belly needs to be a little bigger. If you guys know anything about reenactors, that's kind of funny. So I'm just kind of getting a more thought out, look here. The arms could probably still be a bit more large, but we'll see. Not exactly sure where it's all going just yet, but definitely some boots happening here. Yeah, probably square-toed boots. Maybe some kneecaps. I'm not sure. Not quite sure just yet. Alright, so let's turn off this other sketch layer and just kind of start looking at the cleaner one. This is definitely not clean. But, just going to start playing a little bit, clean this up slightly for a better read. If you guys are working on some stuff, let me know. That's what I've got the chat open for. So that's a simple basis, I think. I like the big head to the guy. I think the shoulders maybe even need to be bigger. Maybe if it was a little more like that they were in front of the head. Like that, maybe. Let's see. Let me know what you think, if they're stupid big or if they're good. It's kind of funny. Maybe just a little bigger over here too. Yeah. So I'm looking into creating much simpler characters than I usually do, just because I'm wanting to knock some stuff out quicker, but also I think simpler just reads so much better sometimes, You still get the idea across with less. I mean, that's got to mean something. And maybe not so much of this line in the middle. I mean, he could have a symbol here or something, something like that. Maybe these are a little more. So a sword would be good. Something rather chubby. Maybe like along those lines. Really wide, probably. He's kind of a chop, hack, and slash looking dude to me. Something more like that. Maybe a shield, but it'd be really funny maybe if we gave him a really tiny shield because a guy like this doesn't need a shield, right? So if he just had a kind of a buckler, that's what they call these small ones, something along that line. Be kind of funny. Part of me is imagining his head even bigger, but I'm gonna stop there on that, and I'm gonna go ahead and dull this one down. I'm gonna go ahead and make it about 20% or so again, and we'll start on actual pieces here. And I'm gonna go real kind of real clean and simple with it, I think, more than anything. And might as well. So I think what I'm going to do is swap my screens out, which I do sometimes. Let's just pop this over. Pay no attention to the amount of icons on my desktop at the moment. And let's just get this situated here. Let me swap my screen out for you. I'm just going to jump into Moho, if it will there we go. I was supposed to be jumping to the screen, not the other. And yeah, let's do some stuff here now. So the sketching, I'll throw it in on my smaller monitor here, and then for this kind of thing I like to go in and just do it by point and click, It tends to be cleaner, I think. So the helmet, I'm just going to, and you know what, to make this faster, because this was my own decision last time, I'm going to go ahead and do the autofill on this. I'm just going to get his helmet working here. And I think what we're going to do, just in case we want to lift this up at any time, I'm going to kind of make it to where it's openable for later. And he'll have a very kind of tiny face that he's able to show. I do need to make a back. Also, we will probably change that stroke out. So on top of that, plus my sketch, cleanup sketch needs to be on the top so we can see everything. And then on this head layer, we're going to make another layer that's the back of the helmet for now. And it is, yeah, no, let's just do that. Going behind, this is going to be helmet back. And we're going to make just a piece that kind of works like what that might look like. And I'm going to make this go all the way across so that when we turn this around, and this like I said, will mostly never be seen, but when it is, we need to make sure it's there for head turns and whatever. I'm going to go ahead and grab that helmet back and change its color to a darker color just so we can differentiate. And there we go. That's the helmet back. His head will, whenever we have one, will go inside of this. And I haven't decided if we're ever going to see his face or not. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and just mute that one really quick. And then I'm going to come in and do this grill here. And I think that I can do this in one piece. If for some reason later on, and I'm drawing this on the wrong layer, thanks for telling me, guys. If for some reason I come along later and decide that this needs to be 2 pieces or something, we can always do that. Don't know what happened there. I'm just trotting along. Probably get a better shape out of this here in a bit. Okay, and then I'm going to cut it from this layer because I've realized it don't belong on this layer. So we're going to cut that, put it on its own. And this will have to go, of course, above the head layer, which that should be called helmet. And this is going to be visor. I almost forgot. All my medieval friends have been pretty upset with me there. And then we're going to paste that in. This needs the same color for now as we have on the old rest of the helmet. So I'm just going to click here and snag that color. Nice thing is working on the big monitor, so I can do that. I'm thinking this visor will probably not have such a rounded vibe to it like that. That's all depending on the angle, I guess, to the viewer, if that's going to look that way or not. I'm thinking also these probably need to move over a bit if he's going to be if we're going to be at a certain angle. Man, I am so used to doing stuff in other software that I pushed my G key to grab, which is a plasticity thing, and I think a blender thing too. Okay, so let's go with that. Does not need to be elegant, just it needs to be what he should have. Eventually I'll figure out exactly where these go and how I want that to look, but I think for now that's okay. Now we need to give it the little line. So I'm going to turn off fill here. We're just going to click on there and then connect this and get at least a 3/4 of the way line down there. Go ahead and enter that. And I think that works. Probably do one more maybe from here just to have that little connection. Cool. And then on our helmet, which I'm going to change the name of right now, so the head's going to be different. You know what I mean? It'll be a completely different piece. We're going to need a couple of little lines on it as well. So we'll click on there and click on it again to get that. This now is on the helmet, so it runs behind the visor. We can go ahead and bring this down a little more if we want and press enter. And then if we wanted to, we can bring yet again another one up from here and just bring it up out a little like that. Press enter and we have that same deal. So now I think on the visor and maybe even above it, we're going to have this little visor pivot. So I'm just going to call it pivot for now because we can always change the name of it later on. And I'm just going to draw a circle here. There was some backfire outside. I was like, oh boy. Always worried about gunfire. Okay, that looks pretty good. We did not have the autofill on, so I'm going to go back in here and select that shape, being this one, and go ahead and fill it so that it covers up the right way. So we will turn our autofill back on, I think, because for some of this stuff. So autofill, and then let's come in on the visor, and we're going to actually put this on the visor layer. And let's go ahead, and I'm going to draw just kind of like a line. I'm just going to leave it here and here, and sort of come down this way. So I have a way to differentiate where these, top pieces go. And that's a fill and a stroke, and that is on visor. Why am I not seeing it? He wondered to himself. Probably because it's on that same layer. And I'm going to leave that unstroked, basically. And then I'm going to come in and maybe even do another one for the bottom to kind of tell myself this is where these pieces need to line up. There we go. And that way it just has a more even kind of appearance, I think. Do that. And then now we can come in and draw the actuals parts of this. So, and we can delete parts of a line, so that is probably what I'm going to do here. And we will enter that. Then we can go from here and do this, and then I will sharp those on the ends. And to do that, we can just select both points and Control P. And then now we can come in and continue with this one that's going to go from here and down to the bottom. Enter. We'll get another one here. And this one will get a little wider because it's coming closer to our camera. And so then you can take this delete edge tool here and just go boink, and it basically is a snip tool. But you got to be careful that your other stuff is actually welded. So auto weld I'm going to turn on. I'm going to come in and grab this point and let it weld itself there and there all across. And those should be okay now. So now we can come in, like I said, and snip these areas and not have any issue. Just make sure you don't do it all the way across yet. Okay, so now the other side. If you guys have any comments or anything, please say hey. There is a chat at the bottom. So we're just going to go up here now. Enter. From here. Enter. Okay. From here to here. And probably, I don't know, we'll figure this one out. From here to here, I can adjust all those, so I'm not really worried about it. That one did not weld, so I'm going to need to work that like so. We can get rid of extra points if we have them, like this and this one, and even this. But I think that one was pretty good because it gave me a little bit of a curvature that I wanted right through there. Let's put this guy back. And with that, this one needs to be attached. Or it didn't, but hey, it is now. This I can delete. And I believe I can go ahead and get rid of some of these other attachments, like this one. I recommend getting rid of all your attachments, honestly. Just kidding. And then these other ones, we just trim those off. Like that. And now we can take these as shapes if they don't vanish, but that's because we haven't made them shapes yet. So we're going to grab, if I can find them. There we go. This guy. This guy. That one's missing a top. What the heck happened to my lines here? I'm going to grab this and put it here and sharp those apparently. So Control P. Wonder why those vanished. Must not have had those in there and didn't realize it. So we get that in, and then we sharp this last corner. Alright, so that one seemed to have made itself. I'm not sure why the others have not. Perhaps they are not completely shapes or closed off yet. I'm not sure now. But we're going to do this. We're going to go to our create shape. We're going to say just fill. We're going to do this one as well. Just fill. We're going to create shape. And we're going to go here. And obviously our fill needs to be changed. to the proper color. And then we can get rid of the stroke on this guy. And just click out. This one. Hello. So we'll just, it's got to be painful to watch me do this. We're going to go to that one. And for whatever reason, it's got a stroke in it. Well, let me take that one off. So let me turn that on for all of them and off for all of them. Nope, it's just that one. And we're going to try and figure that out. Why? He wondered. I might have to redraw this particular one, so I'm just going to get rid of it. And we're going to go back and just create it real quick again. By itself, we didn't have to do, you know, all of that together, I guess. So just do these 4. It's going to look like a circle until it doesn't. So we're just going to grab our points. And there we go. Obviously those in the top need to come up. And this one needs to be a better direction there probably. Okay, so we're somewhat into it now. So there's the base visor. And now looks like we need the body. So underneath the helmet, I can turn the helmet back on the back of it. We're not going to see it. The sketch, we're going to just delete that sketch because it's just in the way now and never be used again. And so now in front of the helmet back, we're going to create a body layer. I'm just going to trace out kind of the idea of what I think should be here. And this could very quickly change over time. It's already changing a little bit, you notice. Just kind of do this because we're not going to see a neck more than likely. Just going to do that, give us a couple more little points in here so that he can bend and move a little better when the time comes. And then we will go in. I'm going to give it the gray color again, just to kind of keep things consistent for the moment so we know what's what. And now we have a basic body. He is not beautiful, but that is the point. No, it's not. Okay, so now arms. This arm, I believe, should be in front of that helmet. So we're just going to go with a shoulder here. Move it all the way up to the right here. Let's say shoulder left. And I'm just going to start trying to get a pretty smooth kind of shape out of this. And I am going to want to do some type of backside to these so that I can get sort of the perspective off of them, if that makes sense. When they turn, I want to be able to see inside of those cups possibly. This might be a simpler animation than that, though, now that I think about it. So, but a little rim at the bottom of that would not hurt anything. And what I mean by that is just to come in here and add another layer. And this will be included in a group. And we're just going to call this one shoulder left, back. And then we will just create like a circle. Let me line that up. And this will be behind all of this. You can probably kind of already see where I'm going with that. It will basically create this underside of that back of the arm of the shoulder pauldron there. So then once again, we're just going to come in and darken that piece. Probably not black. Just going to use like a darker gray on that. And then the arm will go in front of that layer, if that makes sense. Also, I do want to put a stroke on that so that, you know, that has an edge to it. So I'm just going to turn that back on. You'll see it now looks like a complete shoulder, but it's actually in two pieces. Now the arm has to go in between those, so I can't truly group those that way. So that'd be interesting. But I can group it to the upper arm, which is probably what I'm going to wind up doing with that. So right above that one, then you would do the upper arm left. So arm, upper L, and you can see that this will get something to this effect. And I'm going to overlap. I always go farther so that we have room for a little, you know, pivot area of the arm. I'm just going to pick a, I don't know if he's got chainmail on or not. He might. That might be interesting. But at the moment, I'm just going to pick like a kind of a flesh tone that's, you know, kind of a desaturated, darker kind of flesh tone. He's an angry battlefield guy. We don't know what, you know, race or whatever he may or may not be, which doesn't matter. It's just, you know, sort of like a real haggard, you know, person. If we want to, also, we can take that shoulder left, duplicate it, and this way we don't have to draw both of them. And this will be not left 2, but right. And we can drag that over and put it behind the others. So once I get that layer, we want to also start thinking about putting your origin points in the right place. It just makes things easier and more clean. And if you have to twist that layer, of course, it helps you pivot those things around without too many issues. All right, so this will go basically here. Probably be a bit smaller, not tons. But you get the idea. We can move that around however we need. Saves time to do it this way. And then the arm upper left will get duplicated and become the arm upper right. And that will go behind the shoulder right. And that one will also need the back of that arm piece as well. So we're just going to grab this, pop it over there, and of course we can change its shape by moving the points around, getting it more like this arm would be. All right, so I'm going to continue this later. I'm going to go eat dinner for now and show you guys more of this as we go. But I think that's a pretty good start so far, and I will talk to you shortly. All right, thanks.